In the vast expanse of the universe, there is a small blue planet, unique and vibrant. This is Earth, our only home. A haven for diverse life forms, and for one species that has shaped its destiny more than any other, for the best and for the worst. Humans. Imagine the lush green forests, the deep blue oceans, the vast deserts, and the majestic mountains. This is the Earth in all its splendor, a masterpiece of complexity and beauty. For thousands of years, humans have thrived on this planet. Our lives are deeply intertwined with the Earth's ecosystems. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, all come from this Earth. We are not just inhabitants of this planet, we are part of it. But in our quest for advancement, we have forgotten the delicate balance that sustains us. Fossil fuels, the very resources that propelled our progress, are now the chains that bind us to a path of destruction. As we burn coal, oil, and gas, we release carbon dioxide, trapping heat in our atmosphere, leading to climate change. If we continue at this rate, scientists predict severe consequences. Rising sea levels, extreme weather events, loss of biodiversity, and a planet that can no longer support life as we know it. We have a window, albeit a closing one, to alter our course. Humans need to change the way we create energy. Burning fossil fuels is an archaic way of generating energy, with the coal-powered steam engine was invented over 300 years ago. The use of natural gas for commercial energy was implemented over 200 years ago in America, followed by the first internal combustion engine to gasoline was invented 150 years ago. The technology our world relies on to power our modern ecosystem is older than the invention of electricity. The time for an energy revolution is now. Renewable energy is the most important method of stopping climate change. Green power sources, including solar, wind, and hydroelectricity, provide humans with agency to combat the traditional power sources that deplete the Earth of its natural resources, contributing to climate change. Although these sources are renewable, they have pitfalls that cannot be overlooked. Solar is only as powerful as the sunlight it receives. Inclement weather, dust accumulation, geography, and panel longevity hinder solar's effectiveness. Most importantly, solar can only generate energy during daylight and is rendered useless during the night. Storing solar energy requires massive amounts of batteries that require mining and refining precious metals. Wind power is limited by geography, land use, and electricity storage. Just like solar, the energy generated from wind needs to be used or stored, creating a difficult challenge for grid infrastructure. Hydropower is the most widely used renewable energy in the US. Unlike solar and wind, hydropower is a constant and can fluctuate energy production depending on demand. The only downsides of hydropower is its requirement of a large water source and the significant land needed to create a power plant. According to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, total U.S. electricity consumption in 2022 was about 4.5 trillion Q, the highest amount recorded and 14 times greater than electricity use in 1950. In 2021, the United States electricity production was deeply reliant on burning natural gas and coal. Natural gas is responsible for 38.4% of U.S. electricity, and coal burning accounted for 22%. Nuclear power is the third largest producer of electricity, creating 19% of our nation's electricity. Solar, wind, and hydropower combine to produce 18% of the U.S. electricity. More importantly, there are only 54 nuclear power plants compared to 5,000 solar farms, 70,000 wind turbines, and 1,400 hydroelectric plants. The United States would only need 275 nuclear power plants to power the entire nation. Nuclear and environmentally dependent renewable energies produce roughly the same amount of electricity, so why are environmental groups and climate change initiatives not promoting nuclear energy? Public opinion is a powerful force. In a democratic republic like the United States, the people vote for laws, regulations, and policies that dictate how our country operates. Nuclear is a scary word for the public, and for a valid reason. Before the first nuclear power plant was implemented in 1958, nuclear had a sinister history. Nuclear fission was first used to make nuclear weapons that the US dropped on Japan and sparked a 40-year Cold War with the Soviet Union. Reactor meltdowns in Chernobyl and Fukushima further perpetuated a negative connotation in public opinion. But Niche cases should not define nuclear power. The only nuclear meltdown in the US had no detectable health effects on plant workers or the public. A majority of nuclear plants were designed in the 1960s and built before 1970, without the use of computers. The current technology is beyond antiquated. It is unreasonable to assume the same 60-year-old technology would be implemented today. Nuclear power should be embraced, not feared. The US Navy has a stellar nuclear power track record while currently operating 83 nuclear-powered ships and 0 meltdowns in the program's history. France operates 56 plants that produce 72% of the country's electricity without a single related fatality. Today, nuclear power plants are as safe as any other renewable energy while producing exponentially more energy at a constant rate. Radioactive waste will always be a deterrent to nuclear power adoption, even though it can be recycled and safely disposed of. Once a fuel rod is depleted and no longer generates energy, it is placed in deep underground in a remote location. Although nuclear waste can take 1,000 years to dissipate, it is stored in a location that will never be accessed again. This might sound like we are passing this problem to the next millennium, but if climate change continues at its current rate, it will end humanity eons before nuclear waste. A trade-off worth taking. There is even more hope for transitioning to clean nuclear power. Advancements in nuclear fusion are opening the door to a carbon-free, radioactive, less, and more efficient electricity generation future. Rather than Kriegensstrein. Scientific American states, most experts agree that we are unlikely to be able to generate large-scale energy from nuclear fusion before around 2050. But the wait will be worth it. Nations like the United States need to invest rather than shut down their nuclear power generation. Solar, wind, and hydropower will never be enough to stop fossil fuel burning. The only energy solution that can constantly generate electricity, has the least deaths per terawatt, emits 0 greenhouse gases, and provides the cheapest long-term electricity is nuclear power. Embrace the future. Create policies that promote nuclear energy. Implement subsidies for nuclear expansion. Regulate the plants to ensure safety for all. We will stop climate change together with nuclear.